My BF's dog is 15 years old. It's been months since he can't walk. He has liver and kidney problems or something like that, so he has trouble peeing. Now he's growing tumors on his face and sometimes bleed. I don't feel this dog is happy at all. But my boyfriend has a super strong attachment to him, which I completely understand, but I don't think he's thinking clearly. I know my BF will get angry if I suggest he should put his dog down, but I think he really should. How should I deal with this? Should I just be supportive and let my boyfriend have his process, or should I put the dog's interests first? What if I'm wrong and the dog wants to live? Help. TL. Doctor, my boyfriend's dog is in pain and I think he should put him down, but I know he's strongly attached. Has the dog been to the vet recently? Does he need to go for any reason, or could you think of one? Maybe he would take it a bit better if it came from the vet. Having tumors suddenly growing out of its face is about as good a reason to take a dog to the vet as you can get. If he still won't take it, he's not likely to until it's in terrible pain and probably can't walk anymore. Maybe not even then. Having a pet is a great honor and a great responsibility. Not allowing them to suffer at the end of their life is the price we should pay for their years of loyal companionship. My sister and her husband had a dog with failing health that they spent a lot of money/time on to keep comfortable and happy. One day when she was at the vet to get the dog fluids, she asked the vet, "When do we know it's time to say goodbye?" And the vet said, "When your dog can no longer do the things that you know it loves to do." For that particular dog, she loved 3 things most: fast running, snacks and blanket cuddles with my sister. Due to the health issues, the first 2 had already stopped, but the second, my sister saw her dog wince away from her instead of coming for a cuddle because there was just going to be another pill or vet trip. My sister scheduled the appointment. From the sounds of it, your BF's dog doesn't have any of the things it loves left. It's time. This exactly our dog adored my husband. Just being near him made him happy and his tail would thump, so we would put a sling under him since his back, hips/legs had given out and walk him wherever he needed to go. One day he no longer wanted to get up and go towards my husband. That was the day we said goodbye. The dog is in pain. Tell your BF plainly the dog is in pain and the end is coming. Ask him to consider what it will look like. It could look like a comfortable sleep where the dog knows he is loved and no longer feels pain. Or it could come suddenly, probably painfully, when the dog is alone and confused. Then leave him alone to make his choice about what the end looks like, because it's going to come, no matter what either of you say or do. The power he has as his dog's person is to honor the dog's time and spare him pain, or to leave the dog to the possibly cruelest moments of Mother Nature. You cannot make that call for UBF, but you can point out that is a decision he's making right now. Doing nothing means choosing pain and risking greater pain for the dog because the person cannot face their final responsibility to the pet. You are right. That's a good approach. Thank you so much for your response. I'd start by saying that you're concerned that his dog is in pain and uncomfortable, and you'd like to take him to the vet together to discuss pain management and quality of life, and that maybe the vet can help you all prepare for when it's time to put him to sleep. The vet should be able to educate him from there. If there's a lap of love near you, contact them. They specialize in home visits for quality of life care, hospice, and euthanasia. Your boyfriend might find a home visit more comforting. Edit. Here is a quality of life scale that might be helpful. https://vetsocialwork.utk.edu/wp content/upload/2016/03/qualityoflife.pdf. When you are with the animal day in and day out, you completely lose perspective on how sick they are. It took a stranger saying something to me to wake me up, and now I hate that I waited so long. Vets will sometimes recommend it, or is there someone he trusts who hasn't seen the dog in a while, who can get through? If the vet lays out the end of life situation, I pointy this is next, then this, and he sees how hopeless and painful it is for the dog, it may help. I went through this recently with a family member's beloved dog. There isn't much you can do but be supportive. It's so hard. We lost a family dog after 20 years with her. She had issues with walking occasionally and peeing, but not enough that we justified letting her go. She'd still played with the others to the best of her ability and seemed to enjoy her food. It was sad seeing her go, but I'm glad it was peaceful. You can tell your boyfriend that it is heartbreaking to see his dog suffering in pain. Please tell him no one deserves to suffer. I had a cat that was clearly sick and the vets didn't have answers for me. As an owner it's so hard to pull that trigger. You think just maybe they'll snap put of it. My cat was only 2 years old, however. I think your BF will know for sure when that time is, but it's worth it to bring it up to him to get his perspective. I think you need to sit him down and have the conversation. It's not fair to keep animals suffering, even when it's motivated by love. This is one of the most difficult parts of being a pet owner. My wife and I recently lost our puppy, so I know how difficult it is. I'd let him know that there are services that will come to your home and help your dog die peacefully, in comfort, surrounded by the people who love him. You could try broaching the subject and preface by saying it's his dog/family and the decision is obviously his, and you will support him and the animal either way. Letting go is hard. Sometimes it feels like you're causing the death even when you're not. You're just being merciful. So if you do talk about it, you should talk about the animal's comfort with the love your BF feels. You know he doesn't want his dog to be in pain, and also about how he probably wants to remember the animal fondly and not them being in constant discomfort and pain. Either way, best of luck to you. I'm not religious, but sometimes the phrase, "this too shall pass," really helps me. Unfortunately, if it's his dog, he needs to reach the right conclusion on his own. Berating him for being selfish and torturing his beloved pet will only drive him away and not help the dog. Right now he's in denial. Try to gently ask how long he means to wait. Does he really think the dog might recover? Does he think the dog is still enjoying any part of its life? If he understands the dog won't ever be healthy again and it can't enjoy anything anymore, maybe that will open his eyes. At the very least, he needs to figure out where the end point will be. Waiting for the dog to pass on its own is not a kindness. I was in this position with my Sil a few years ago. Her beloved dog was ancient, arthritic, could barely walk, blind and deaf, snapped at everyone including her if he was touched the wrong way. To me it was clear he was miserable and ready to go, but she wasn't ready. I had a few long conversations with her about my own experience saying goodbye to my old cat. As hard as it was, I was glad I didn't wait too long and make the cat suffer more than she needed to. How gentle and peaceful it was when she was finally put to sleep. I'm not sure if it made a difference, but the next time I saw my Sil, the dog was gone. Saying goodbye to a pet is awful, but it is part of the deal. Call your vet and tell them your thoughts. Encourage him to book a wellness exam, and they may help him organize your thoughts. Part of my job is helping people feel at peace with the decision to euthanize. I have a couple things. Our pets don't want to live forever. They want their days to be perfect. How perfect are those days? Ask him to write the 3 things the dog loves not. Eating his favorite treats. Chasing squirrels. Meeting him at the door when he comes home from work. Cross them out as they disappear. When the joy is gone, what is left? Sleep, peace. To die of natural causes is to die of dehydration and starvation. Does he want that for his loyal friend? Your vet staff can help put words to it. Just say, gently, compassionately, your dog is quite ill and seems listless and lifeless. Have you considered letting him go? It could be a piece of mercy to him. I have always lived by the motto quality over quantity. I have 2 things that helped me get through making the decision, and that I have mentioned when helping the rest of the family get on board. The first is I remember them in their absolute prime. Would that pet be happy in their current state? The other is that I want to have good happy memories of my beloved pet. The end memories stick with you, and I don't want to remember them uncomfortable and suffering. I would always rather make the decision a week too early than a second too late. Your BF will regret making his dog suffer like this. I would tell him that the dog was so lucky to have him as his person, but that his good days are behind him. That the dog deserved his final hours to be happy and to feel loved. Not scary, panic-stricken or worst, all alone. I'm literally crying as I write this, but I let my last dog go too long. I was out for a few hours and came home to him sitting in his own vomit, unable to even lift his head. I was hysterical, rushed him to the vet, and he died watching me bawling uncontrollably. I would do anything to go back and give him a happy and calm farewell. My mom had a dog named Gizmo. He was a teacup chihuahua who weighed 2 pounds. My mother was an animal hoarder and loved her dogs despite the abuse she made them endure. Gizmo had kidney and liver failure, and she let it sit, and eventually his body kinda exploded from the inside out. His eyes popped from his head, and he pooped blood, until he passed painfully on Valentine's Day. I know not every case is the same, but I wish I could made the decision to put him down out of love, instead of letting the dog suffer out of love. I know it's hard to lose a precious member of the family. Ultimately he needs to realize how harsh what he is doing really is. Of course take the dog to the vet, if he hasn't already, but it sounds to me that the dog needs what's best for him. I'm a receptionist at a veterinary clinic. We use this assessment quite often. https://vet.osu.edu/vmc/sites/default/assets/pdf/hospital/companion/animals/honoring-the-bin/how-do-I-now-when-point-pdf. I think it's a great resource. Best wishes to you. We have a vet around here that provides at-home euthanasia, but they also come to homes to provide end-of-life care. This might be a really good way to get a vet in to see the dog. It provides someone else with authority to go to him gently and realistically. Tell him you'd like to help make sure his dog is comfortable in his old age. If nothing else, perhaps they could provide the dog some relief. Please just be there for him when he's ready, or when it happens without his say. I would try something like, "Hey BF, I know you love your dog so much and want to have them in your life for as long as possible, but it seems like dog is nearing the end of their life. I know it is so hard to let go, but it is going to be time to do that soon. I will support you through this however I can. Not sure if they offer this where you live, but many vets now will come to your house to put your dog down as well. Might be a good option." There was this comic I read one time about knowing when it is time to put your dog down, and it said that once the dog can no longer do dog things was one of the signs. From what you wrote, there are a lot of reasons the dog should see the vet. Honey, your dog is suffering. Let's put him down. He's incredibly selfish. Tell him to do the right thing and start with going to the vet to get their expertise, which I think we all know the answer. Just approach this with a lot of compassion. It's such a difficult decision and the loss is truly devastating. I would try to very gently remind him that the dog can no longer do the things that bring the dog joy. The dog is likely very uncomfortable to be alive in such a delicate state. It makes them very anxious to know that they couldn't defend themselves. Dogs don't understand old age the way we do. He's hurting and he doesn't know why. Just try to very gently nudge him in the direction of Fluffy is really struggling at first. He'll probably want to go to the vet and get their opinion. That's fine. That's their job. They can help make the suggestion. You could ask to go to the next vet appointment. I've heard you should make a list of all the things the pet loves to do, and when they aren't able to do a certain amount, you know it's time to say goodbye. Sometimes you can find a vet who will do house calls, and that can help relieve some stress. Talking to the vet really helped our family make the decision when the time came. The thing that stuck with me was the thought that they try to hide their pain, and then it becomes obvious they are in pain. They are certainly in a lot of it. I didn't want my dog to suffer. The tumors on his face could be canine papillomavirus, which is contagious. Pup really needs to see a vet. If the dog is happy to see him and eats, he still enjoys living. Also, if you suggest this and your BF takes your advice and then regrets it, he will resent you to no end. It would be a great kindness to find vets in the area who will do at-home euthanasia, so when your boyfriend does realize what he needs to do, his dog can pass comfortably at home rather than in an unfamiliar environment.